Hey, Chin Music fans, we are here today with episode 28 of Chin Music with Mitch and Tony. We're your hosts, Mitch Bone and Tony Legale. Tony, how are you, man?
What's up, baby? How you doing today, Mitch?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's been a good week. We are coming to you on a Monday, which is a little bit weird for us, but that's just how
Prestige
the
World, wide.
oh, I love that movie, man. But that's just how the cookie crumbles this week. We had a little bit of a fun weekend, so yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Super pumped for our episode today, and it is a good day for it because it is a miserable outside.
Yeah, it's a little
It's partly cloudy with a chance of death. This is brutal. My God.
It's terrible. It's actually fully cloudy, not just partly cloudy,
It's fully cloudy. It is fully
and a little bit of rain and really cold.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I actually got up and persevered through the elements, wanted to prove to myself that I was, you know,
Manly
sa-
enough.
savage. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day. That's all I'm trying to do. And it was dismal. It was a miserable. I did 3 miles this morning in this shit. And, but got through it. Now I'm gassed and have very little steam. And that's why I'm drinking coffee at 2 o'clock. Let's go.
Hey, you know what? Whatever gets you through the rest of your day, right?
I know. Man, we have some just really fun stuff to talk about, man. We get these times to do our show and we don't have a set time because we just, it's part of our gig, you know what I mean? Like we don't have a set time. We do what we want on our terms and we release it when we're good. And, until, the 270,000 followers that we currently have start pounding down the door and demanding more of us.
Yeah.
So you guys
We
let us know. You guys want more of us? Give us more.
we do try to release on Friday and Saturday, but sometimes life gets in the way.
Yeah. And for me, I was actually rejoicing that we didn't do a show because I wouldn't have been able to really have a clear mind in regards to the anxiety that I was feeling. I know I'm 32 and I have nothing to actually do with the Golden Knights, emotionally, physically, or they don't need me whatsoever. Could care less if I like them or not. But they gave me some anxiety over the weekend, starting Friday night all the way through Sunday, and I don't believe I would have had a clear mind to talk about other stuff. So I'm glad that it is 2 o'clock on a Monday.
Yes. For sure, for sure. So, before we get into our sports talk, we always do it. What was your week?
What's up with that? What's up? No, I'm just kidding. What's up with that? What is that? Is that a Saturday Night Live? What's
I
up
think it
with
might
that?
be. That sounded
What's up
familiar.
with
Yeah.
that? What is it? What was yours? What's up with your week, or what was yours?
Yeah. What's up with your week?
What's up with your week? Hi. And then this is where we interview. Like this is our new audio. Mitch and I have been working on this new audio segment where we're bringing in sounds and sound effects, and then we're gonna break right now and be like, "Coming to you live. How was your week?"
I think we just need to have you do the voices
Okay.
live and just that'll
Yeah.
be our break in.
Oh yeah. Let's just do it all. Dude, why didn't we not think of that? Like, who needs technology? We're organic. Like, all these DJs and dubsteppers out there, all that bullshit. You guys are musicians. I get it. You make more money than I do in certain areas, so therefore you got the respect. But these are sounds coming from the depths of my soul versus an electronic button.
I mean, you've got the repertoire. You've got the excited voice. I've heard a Boston accent before. You do a pretty decent Trump impersonation.
Thank you, Mitchell. Sorry. See, just natural kick response. It's my F word. That's my F word. But it's just there's a sense of arrogance that sometimes you just gotta say.
You do a pretty good.
When we're talking about that guy.
Yeah, you do a pretty good. I cannot remember his name, but the Royals and Scarlets announcer. You do a really good impersonation of
Well,
him.
unfortunately, Bob Sandler's not well renowned. But if he were, everyone would know. Anyways,
Bob Sandler, thank you.
Bob Sandler. Yeah, that's a unique one. That's like a me in the basement or backyard practicing baseball, and like instead of like walking up to music, it's like now batting the catcher, number 10, Tony LaGailey. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Royals versus Scarlets tonight on Dealer Park. I'll be your host, Bob Sandler. Wouldn't that be awesome if he said that? Oh man,
We got to work on that though, man. We got
I
to just
know.
come up with a bunch of different voices for all of our different things.
And here's the deal: there's basically anybody worth imitating. They have some sort of stature. So I don't necessarily know most of them, anyways. Okay. The thing that bothers me about the Bob Sandler impersonation is that he's always doing his own thing, and in Legion, you're kind of separate. You see Bob on game days. It's not like he's hanging out at practice with the team. Like he's got his own deal, you know what I mean? But like, I don't believe that he knows that I can do his voice like the way that I do it. And so the only regret I have, because no one else knows me either, that I can do their voice. I'm just like a weird kid in the room, like mimicking people. And what do you need? And that's like me. And dude, yeah, I got to do some history before we get too much into Bob, because I got to make sure he used to live actually close to us. Anyways, yeah, no, we can do all the short story, Mitch. We can do all the sounds ourselves. Wow, suck me in like a tractor being.
Oh, guys, this show is gonna get real fun real quick with this stuff. So what were we even talking about before we?
Oh, we're talking about strictly facts as usual on this show. Mitch, we were talking about my week, and
That's right.
Yeah, my week, Mitch, it's pretty much the same. I wake up, I have my vitamins. I'm still excited about the vitamins. I'm excited about the vitamins. I have to tell you, they're probably the greatest vitamins I've ever had. Okay.
Oh,
Anyways, so that's good. Man, things are rocking and rolling. Putting together some really intricate, nice landscape designs in my off time here. Starting to dive into the old homestead even by ripping out plants and revamping our own property. So just trying to take a different approach, and haven't had a ton of time to follow much outside of the Stanley Cup playoffs and of course the functionality of my household.
Yes. Yeah.
So
awesome.
That was my week. Mitch, I would really like to know how your week was.
My week was good. I finished up school, which was awesome. So done with that for the semester. I went into the radio station one day, so that was always fun. That's always
Cat
good.
Country 5Y93.3. Oh wait, no, it's 96.3. The Zone.
I did not go into the zone, but I went into.
Yeah, you
did. No, I didn't. I went into 98.5. The Wolf is what I went into, and I don't know their.
I don't either. What is theirs? Because they usually it's for the Cat Country. It's
I don't know what they do. I can't remember. But I think they just do like the Wolf, and that's it.
The Wolf. That's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, radio voices.
It's fun, man. So yeah, no, went into there one day last week, and then what I've been doing is, do you know there's a organization here in town called Living Independently for Today and Tomorrow?
No.
Okay, so they help like disabled people obviously live independently.
Okay.
And they are moving offices here in Billings, so they're having like a grand kickoff this week, and so I've been helping get raffle items for that. So that's been a lot of my week.
That's great.
Yeah,
man, that's good work. And dude. Wow. Yeah, cool. I did not know that was a organization, and happy to see that they utilize you. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
And then I'm helping out the Shrine
that's
game too. And I met with the lady that came through town and um gonna help promote their game as well. So
awesome.
yep.
Awesome. That so where is the game being held this year?
It's at Dallas Stadium at
Oh,
Senior
it is at
High.
Dallas. It is at
Yep.
Dallas. Okay. 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 Yeah. And
Yep.
that's before the season starts.
That's in June
That's after the season.
for football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's technically before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is before, isn't it? Yeah, it kind of is.
I
I
mean,
forgot. I forget where that always fell, and I
it
feel
happens
ignorant
in
because that's
June, so
such a kind
technically
of a
it's
big
both
deal.
before and after. Because what they do is they have the graduating seniors play in the game. That's what it is. So it's the graduating seniors. It's like an all-star game.
Yeah. So let me ask you something, and from my understanding, I mean, it's obviously a renowned Montana high school football, high school athletic deal.
Yeah.
What have you been to a game? Have you watched games prior?
Yeah. So I actually was their ambassador child for the Shriners Hospital when I was like 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been to a bunch of them. They
Dude,
used to
real
be
familiar.
exclusively in Great Falls, where I grew
Okay.
up. And so I went to them every year there. And then when they did the whole thing where they rotated around, I went to one 2 years ago in Great Falls because they asked me to come do media. And then I'll be at this one this year because it's here in Billings.
Hmm. Well, that'd be awesome. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I asked that, I got lost in thought, was the competition of that actual game. Is it?
It's really good. So you get, and what's really cool about it, so for people that don't know Montana, Montana is very, how do I want to put it? Their school sizes are very different. So we can
Yeah,
go from schools of like 2,000 kids with like West High and the
to
senior
16.
highs to literally 16. And that's like
Yeah.
2 or 3 different towns combined.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and so that's like all of those kids play together. And it's really cool to see those kids from those smaller towns play with the guys from like Billings West, Bozeman's, the Great Falls schools, and just see how good those smaller school guys are that just don't get the shot because they're from, just don't get the looks because they're from a smaller town.
Oh yeah. Always. Yeah. Yeah. I just ask because I wonder I wish there was more. Maybe I just am, once again, lack of following, but I wish there was more of a build up, kind of they made a big deal out of it, like a true, like held it at like a Washington National or Washington Grizzly Stadium or Bobcat. Like if they truly took the top tier of the top all stars from,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, I think that could be really cool and incentivizing to give
Yeah, I know
kids more
here it's obviously
opportunity as
played at
well.
Dallas. In Great Falls, it's played at Great Falls High, which is an absolutely beautiful stadium if you've never been there. And then I think they play at Butte at Naranche.
And these are all different divisions, like
No,
classes.
no, they're all double A schools.
Oh.
Are you saying the players or
Yeah. Like I'm saying, like my understanding of the Shrine game is that they take the top players from each class and pair them up against each other.
so what it is they break it up into
What
East
should
and
be.
West.
Okay.
So the eastern part of the state is all on one team, and the western part of the state's all on one team.
No
And
matter the
their kids,
class.
huh?
No matter the class.
No matter the class. So there's kids from like for the west side, Missoula Sentinel to I don't know what's a small school over there, Lolo or Twin Bridges or whatever.
Yeah.
There's kids from all of those schools on that west team. In the east, there's kids from Billings West, but there's also kids from like Scobie.
Mm.
on this team.
Okay. Okay. So it could be, I mean, could be good exposure. Okay. I just wish it was bigger, is all.
I think it's pretty big. I guess. I
Do
mean,
you
they make
think
it.
they would get a massive turnout if they held an annual game at a massive college stadium where a lot of these kids are going to aspire to play at? Like, do you think, like in Bozeman? I know we're getting way derailed here, brother. I know we are, but
The problem is I don't know if it has that kind of pull.
it
Like,
could.
it could, but I don't know if it would be able to fill MSU or U of M stadium to the point where it's feasible.
Okay, we're just chasing pipe dreams then at this point. Moving
I,
on, moving on.
I do think though, like when I went to it in Great Falls High, they pretty much filled Great Falls Highs,
Oh,
which is like 2 or 3 thousand, I think.
yeah.
And then Dallas is probably 3 or 4, and so they'll probably be able to fill that pretty easy.
Yeah, I just meant if you made like last point, if you made like a futures game, like I know that Bishop Gorman, like infamous high school in Las Vegas, like Bishop Gorman always has like or will have a showcase game and like a showcase tournament and the majority like they're always giving their kids more opportunities and I was just curious like why wouldn't you take the top tier prospects to invite only and as many of you pair the true east and west up and play one game and
Yeah,
show
maybe that's something they could do for juniors down the line because once
yeah
you're a senior already graduating high school, you know where you're going to go or not go.
yeah that's I mean like a showcase game. It doesn't matter like the parameters. It could be your into your sophomore year that going into that off
Yeah,
season whatever you just know. Anyways, like I said, pipe dreams.
yeah. I don't think that's what the Shriners could do. I think their game is their game. That's
Yeah,
that's what they're going to do. But I think
that's their game.
another something could
Yeah,
come in
that's
and
I
do
mean,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no. They've obviously got their process figured out. I wouldn't change a thing. I just thought for exposure purposes, I'm sure
I'm
you
sure
can.
there's some like us being baseball guys, some Under Armour or something that could come in and
Well, that would probably be the only legitimate way to do it
yeah,
because if you were like a non-reputable guy that was just trying to make this happen, uh, and someone were to actually go out and get hurt in that
yeah,
game, that's probably the reason there's too much risk involved. Who knows?
yeah.
With young kid with the careers, I don't know. That's where my heart would go. That would
Well,
be
and
my
also
drive there.
too, I think it's a real pain to get recruiters up to Montana.
Mm. It could be.
And so I think a lot of the recruiters don't come here.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, if you can play, you can play. You know what I mean? That's not true.
Yeah.
But, anyways, so let's get into some sports here.
Yeah.
I'm obviously following, got all the lowdown on um, the NHL and my perspective and some things on that. Some quickly recaps on some big games that occurred, finished up this weekend. We can get into that, and then I did want to add I haven't made a sports bet in over a week.
Oh
Right,
my
so
gosh, are you okay?
I know. No, not really. I have some issues in regards to what I'm going to replace this with, but I think it's just more effort and work is where my solution is. But regardless, if I would have picked, I would have not been profitable outside of that Rangers game yesterday. Um, however, like I was doing my research, although I'm not betting, I still am doing the research. I really like the Mariners tonight in Minnesota. I think Castillo's going. I think that's a
Yep,
lock. So
I do too.
those of you listening to this days later than when we release it, like you're screwed. But just know that I called it.
And not that I mean I'm a Mariners fan. I'm wearing their hat right now. So
Right.
let's get I'm biased, but
Well, that's why I brought it up.
But the Mariners have won 6 straight series, and 2 of them were against 2 of the best teams in the MLB, with the Braves, who are currently one of the best teams, and the Astros that just need to figure it out, and they will be.
Yeah, very accurate.
I mean, the Astros right now are not playing up to their potential, but they should be one of the best teams.
Yeah, yeah, and we both know they'll be there in October.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. Anything else in the baseball world that should be known? Anything going on? My team. You know, like I said, I'm a fan of the NHL detours me from the MLB season for the first 60 games.
Yeah.
Damn near. Is there anything else worth noting? My team, I know that Judge is kind of not really performing, but still hanging in
He's
there.
pretty slow. Soto's cooled off.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a little rough for Yankee fans right now.
so let me ask then, that being said, yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of sympathy for the Patriot Yankee goers out there, huh? Mitch?
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I was wondering who is the team right now in the MLB, outside of the Braves, the Dodgers. Like those are the 2 top tier teams, right?
Yeah.
Those
Who's the best out of the rest?
I mean, those are 2 NL teams. I should have broke it down that way, but give me the 2 AL teams that are on the brink of surging or are in surge right now.
Again, not to toot my own horn, but the Mariners have won 6 straight series. They're surging like no other right now.
They really are. I do know that. No, I do know that. The only reason I know that is because when I do get 16 seconds to take a look at my Facebook, that's about the only amount of time that I actually spend on it, is only that amount of time. I always see posts from my friend Mitch about the Mariners. So I am up to speed on the Mariners.
Yes. Yeah,
So
no, they're surging right now.
Mariners are a top tier team.
See, I always have an issue with that because you have teams like the Yankees that spend a boatload of money. The Rays always seem to figure it out whether they have a lot of money or not. The
Texas
O's are
is going to be
good.
there.
And I mean, I don't know. Toronto should be good, but they're god awful this year.
What about the defending champs?
The Astros? Or the Rangers? God, the Rangers won it last year. Yeah, they're good too. I mean, the Rangers are good. The Astros are good. The Twins are going to probably win that division in the Central, but the Central division is awful, so good for them. The Royals are decent.
Everybody's pretty good.
Everybody's all right. The only really bad teams are the Angels are bad because they just lost Mike Trout again.
So he's hurt now again?
Yeah, he did something to his leg. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he's out for like 2 months.
I'm not pro injury. I think it's awful, and I think it's heart-wrenching, the amount of work and effort and everything that these athletes put into this deal. But Mitch, I do have to say, I've been saying this about the guy ever since he had known me, about Mike Trout and how I'd love to believe in him and being the face of baseball and all the things, but I just can't commit because he's always hurt.
He is. I'm just thankful the Mariners did not play the Angels before he got hurt, because I swear to God, every time that man is up to bat, he hits a home run, and usually there's 1 or 2 runners on base.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And so I've literally, like last year, I remember he hit like 2 or 3 home runs up on the Mariners in the series. And I remember saying, why don't we just walk him? He obviously can hit us really well. Just give him the free base.
Is there any team right now, like, we're not going to get surprised again like last year, like a Diamondback team out of nowhere? Like, is there any team with that level of potential outside? I mean, the Orioles kind of have their own expectations now based off their last year, but like, is there any team that's going to catch us by surprise outside of potentially maybe the Kansas City Royals?
I was going to say the Royals, and actually well, there's two teams out in the NL that I think could surprise people. So the Reds, I think, are a team that's built to win, if not now, in the very near future.
I like the Reds. They're salty with the sticks, and I do love that. I do love me some De La Cruz.
Yeah, he's an animal. I think he already has like 20 stolen bases, and we're like a month into the year.
He's sick. Yeah.
um, so no, I think the Reds have a potential to be a sleeper team, especially because that NL Central is not good. I don't know what it is with the Centrals; they're just not good.
Right.
Um, and then another team that picked up a lot, but they're in a juggernaut division, so I don't know how they'll do, is the Giants.
Who did they acquire?
They got Blake Snell,
Okay.
and then they also got a Japanese player, Jung Ho Lee, I think is his name.
Like so. Okay.
Yeah, and they got a couple other players, but I can't remember them right now.
Hmm.
But they did quite a bit to help their lineup and bullpen and starting rotation. I just don't think it's enough to obviously overtake the evil empire that is the Dodgers. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they are the true mark right now.
yeah, I definitely think they could sneak in to be a wild card team.
Okay.
But you
That's fair
still have
assessment.
Arizona in that division that's really good.
Right. Yeah.
And you still have San Diego that if they can figure it out on paper, they're actually probably even better than the Dodgers. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't mind seeing some success there too. I like that. I'd
yeah,
like those to be two tight, competitive teams as they have been over the years.
yeah,
The Las Vegas Golden Knights,
lost.
they are done. They are done. That is my team. I projected that they would make it to the Stanley Cup and repeat, and um,
We got Dunzoed in the first round.
they did, and it was unfortunate. There was a lot of pieces that really, really looked. It was a nice, and I had shared this with a couple sources that it was a nice kind of affirmation, if you will, about a recipe that a unique recipe that it really does take to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
Okay. We as the Knights kept their same exact roster as last year, same full health. They pulled the LTIR stunt with Stone, and it's not a stunt. It's just the way that it is. It's the way that it's set up for until 2026 when they can modify it. They didn't take advantage of it. They might have. They tried to. Their lines looked totally out of sort. Tomas Hurdle and Mark Stone on the same line just didn't look right. Tomas Hurdle didn't look right, even belonging on the first couple lines based off of watching that team gel and things of that nature in the year prior. But yeah, Dallas is. They just got they were just they drove the pace of the series, which is ultimately what happened. I mean, um, tempo, and it's really weird how it evolves in the playoffs, but. There's just things that you watch all season long. You might as well not even watch the regular season of the
yeah.
NHL because I really believe that. Like outside of the hit or the cool goals and all that stuff, like we're talking a way different game here in the playoff,
It's
Mitch.
kind of like the NBA. The NBA is the same way.
Yeah, and it's getting to that point, but um, yeah, it's the tempo. If you can control the tempo, last year we watched Eichel just man that power play, man the tempo of that whole thing. It seemed like every time the puck touched his stick, it was at least safe. Now they this whole series they can get anything set up. It was all on the rush. Dallas made it tough. All right, so I'm done moping. I won't talk about it the rest of the year. I'm done with the Knights for the year. I'm happy that they made the playoffs. Disappointed because they're a true delight to watch during this time of year, and that place gets rocking in Las Vegas. So that's always more discouraging than anything else. Now, the Colorado Avalanche were awaiting the winner of that series, so they now match up with Dallas.
So before we move on 100% from the Knights, I had brought up something before we even started recording, and I do want to bring it back up again.
Yeah, let's bring it up right now.
It's not bad. It won't make you cry.
Okay.
So I'm always curious because I'm a big sports fan, obviously, but I'm not the biggest hockey fan. And I love rivalries. So with the Knights, they're kind of in an odd spot in our country with them being in Nevada. They're around a lot of different teams. But who is their main rival?
So the logical approach to this question, I thought, but the logical approach is that the Knights haven't been established long enough to have a true nostalgic building rival.
Right.
Okay. They just really haven't. Now, the game and the tension that rises to the top for me as a Knights fan, and it's going to sound crazy, but until about 2 years ago, I thought the Knights' biggest rivalry was San Jose. And now San Jose is totally irrelevant, and they're going to be for some time. So that's out, right? So like, then you get into like, okay, well, the Knights had a first round matchup against Winnipeg last year. That's always a good game. No, not enough there to make it a rivalry. You could say at this point, you could say the Stars, I guess. I mean, if you really look at the series throughout the season, the battle for the Western Conference, like they were back and forth all year. They'd win one, we'd win one, they'd win one. It was just that's just how it was all season. So, but there was just really no. There was no, and that's what in Dallas in itself. Like there's really no synergy. Foreshadowing synergy players or things or events that make me want to leap to saying that they're going to gel and win the cup either.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't think that they really have a true. You would think like the Kings, maybe like somewhere in there, but they just haven't. It's random. It's weird how their process.
Right. It's like I had brought up the Kings. And then I thought just because they're the two new teams, do they have some sort of rivalry with the Kraken?
I think there's a sense of that a little bit. Like I said, if those two teams met each other for the first couple of years of their seasons, the first round in the playoffs, and it evolved into this thing, then yeah, I mean, that would be possible. But yeah, they're two new teams. One has won a cup. One has made the playoffs once.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Yeah, at this point, probably not. I would say the rivalry last year, the biggest series of the entire playoffs was Vegas and Edmonton. I mean, that was probably as close to rivalry feelings like Pietrangelo with that hit on Draisaitl's stick up high. He got suspended. I mean, there was a drama in there to create that, but then like I said, it's tough to keep that up midway through the year in an NHL season unless you really, really hate. I mean, there's a video of I watch it here time to time. It's Sidney Crosby going, "Oh yeah, I hate those guys," when a reporter refers to the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah. Like there's a mutual hate and despise there every time they met during the regular season. That is something the Knights don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, no more night talk.
Okay, we'll get off the Knights.
It is not nighttime anymore. Now daylight.
We'll get off the Knights so we can be happy again.
Hey, I'll quickly run through this. Great matchups. Yesterday was game one. The Rangers took on Carolina Hurricanes at home. They beat them in regulation. They looked great. I still like the Canes over in that series. If the Canes gel and figure it out, oh, they are deadly. But that is to be said also for the New York Rangers. Vancouver and Edmonton. The Vancouver Canucks will play in Edmonton Wednesday night for game one of that series. I like Edmonton as I believe the Vancouver team is fast, has some talent upside, potential good goaltending. I don't see anybody slowing down McDavid this year, and I don't know how that team is going to get beat. And I think that there's only one team that can potentially beat that Edmonton Oilers team, and that's the team that they will meet once they get done dealing with Dallas, Colorado, and that's Colorado. Yeah, Colorado and Edmonton will be the best series. And the winner of that series, I really believe, will win the Stanley Cup. Even with the East being the way that it is. You got Florida and Boston now. Boston had a miraculous just a touch back on that legendary game. You know, you're watching a game very seldomly in sports do you know up front that you're watching a legacy type game. We're talking history. This is the original, two teams of the original six. The last time the Maple Leafs had met or had won against Boston in the Stanley Cup playoffs was 1959 or 69.
Crazy.
Something of that nature. I don't know the exact stat, but it's like that. So there was just so much buildup and drama, and both drama on the Leafs side of things. The Leafs are always out in the first round. They're up against that pressure, and just the dismantling of that team is actually encouraging the Toronto team, because something has to change. They clearly cannot win games with the lineup that they have built around the style that they want to play, because it doesn't work in the playoffs. So that core four of Marner, Nylander, Matthews, and I think Tavares is the core four, part of that core four. I think that those days are over. I think Marner's gone. They're not getting rid of Nylander. They're surely not getting rid of Matthews.
No.
So the dismantling of that team will be a positive. Boston, they face Florida. David Pastrnak scored a overtime winner to take the Boston Bruins, who, quite frankly, and that series in itself wasn't real high scoring, anything of that nature. I don't believe that the Bruins, although they do have the components of a Stanley Cup caliber team, I don't believe that the Leafs' first round win advancement will give them enough to get a monkey off their back. I think they face off against Florida tonight in game one at Florida, Mitch, and Florida's stacked. Florida they have all the pieces and then some. They added Vladimir Tarasenko to an already stunning Tyler Verhaeghe, Sam Reinhart. They're backed by Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, these guys are stacked. Florida is tough to bet against. Let's just say that in that series. Now, the last series, who Florida or the potential winner of that series will face is, we already talked about it, Canes Rangers.
So, yep, Canes Rangers.
That's where we stand currently. Tonight, game one, Florida, Boston in Florida. And go Rats, baby. Not the Rat. Not Brad Marchand, but go Rats.
Nice. You would be proud of me. I watched that game 7.
You did watch the Toronto game.
Yes.
And what were you doing at the time, and how were you feeling while you were doing it?
You know, I was over at our friend Josh and Katie's house watching it, and it was a good time.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I was. It was a great game. The last period was great. Most competitive. The period right before the overtime is what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
The overtime was I was going for the Leafs, so yeah.
You know, Josh has admitted he's a closeted Leafs fan as well.
I am too, and I like Austin Matthews. Here's the thing: I like Austin Matthews. I don't know how I feel about him. I don't know that I feel as strongly about him as I did a month ago, all because of this playoff deal. And it was so hard to watch someone who almost broke an NHL record in goals this year go out and score one goal in the playoffs. Um,
Yeah,
Although he was battling something injury wise. Regardless, it's a tough endeavor to just enter that postseason play, especially if you're dealing with an injury. But I want to see them win. I think that would be great for hockey. And yes, I have buddies who love the Leafs, and although most of their fans, I don't really particularly have this personal persona, but I have heard that they are uptight, hoity-toity kind of assholes. I've heard this about Maple Leafs fans, and specifically, and I personally don't have that. So all of our followers in north of Alberta, don't hate on me, but. Um,
that's
That's what
funny.
I've heard. But I've also heard of the guys that have been here season after season after season and watch their guys go down in the first round. So I'm
Yeah,
pulling for those guys.
they're like a mix of like Yankee fans and Raider fans because they get the hoity-toity assholeness from being a Yankees fan,
Oh, here we go. Wow. I mean, wow.
and then they
Wow.
just get the misery of being garbage of being a Raiders fan.
Mitch, for a show that is built on pure facts, how can you be so backwards on that perception of the Yankee?
It's not far from true, man.
Well, you tell Art Legale that. That's all I'm going to say, buddy.
I love Art and I love you, man, but the majority of Yankee fans are toxic.
Well, every Mariner fan I know is a real good dude. So, including my grandfather, who's no longer with us.
Mariner fans are awesome, man.
I agree. Moving on, that's all I got from my sports aspect of things. I want to bring something up, Mitch. Because you always seem to be more in the know of this than I do, but there is you kind of seem to know the nonprofits and the organizations and all that stuff that are surging and looking for growth and things like that. I was
Somewhat.
Yeah, you do. I think more than I do, but I ran into one. Cole's Pantry. Do we talk about
Yes.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, just briefly want to talk about this. So, this is an organization across the state of Montana that feeds kids in need. They're trying to feed Montana universally. But this is a real problem, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of rural communities in need of this kind of assistance. And so these guys, who are led by really fantastic people, are doing such great things across our state, and so good that they keep growing. And the Cole's Pantry Golf Tournament is right around the corner, Mitch.
Ooh.
Right around the corner, May 17th, and get registered at colespantry.com. This all goes to the cause of helping Montana's children one backpack at a time.
That's so awesome. So, what's the website again? And then for those of us that don't want to golf, how can we help out Cole's Pantry?
Oh, well, I'm really happy that you asked that, Mitch, because you're able to contact myself or one of the affiliates at colespantry.com. Is that, let me just make sure I want to get that right before I just start throwing stuff out here, guys. All right, cool. I think that's all it is. Let's see. Yeah. Cole'sPantryInc.com.
SoulsPantryInc.com.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's the one. Golf tournament will pop up. Just go to the old, really reliable Google and type in Cole's Pantry, and it will pop up. But like I said, great people. This is a great opportunity to get out, play some golf, and support a really good cause. If you can't play golf, to answer your question, contact one of the affiliates at the website or myself. Sponsorships welcome. You can sponsor a hole, flag prizes, all the things, anything and everything that will help this organization continue to provide for our families in Montana.
That's so awesome. And it's so great that they're doing that for not only, the big towns, but helping out the rural communities, because I feel like they kind of get left behind a little bit.
Indeed. So that's what is happening. And it is 2:45. 2:45. All right. Mitch, what else? Do you have anything else to add? We covered some great stuff. We're in a fun time right now. Spring is here, and it's about summertime coming around the corner.
Yeah,
Anything?
I don't really have anything else except for that the Scarlets and Royals both had their home openers this last weekend and played pretty well.
Oh, nice.
The Scarlets went 2-1, and then the Royals went 1-2. So the
Okay.
Royals beat Missoula and then or split against Missoula and lost to South Rapid City, who's just tough.
Oh, post 22.
Yeah, post 22, the Hard Hats. Anybody that knows the Hard Hats knows that they're pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to North or South Dakota baseball.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
it,
when I played, we used to kick the shit out of them, so I don't give a shit.
well, they've gotten a lot better.
They suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, that is a cool thing. They don't suck. Post 22,
Um,
respect. Respect.
and and then the Scarlets played Missoula and them, and they split against the Hard Hats and beat Missoula. So,
We have to talk about one final thing,
all right.
and I think that it's pretty pertinent to the success of the show because of feedback and all of our listeners how they
Oh yeah,
love
yeah.
everything. But what do you think of the shirt that I wore today? Do you think
You,
that
I
it'll
absolutely
get the
freaking
people
love it.
going? You think it gets the people going?
I think it gets the people going.
If you are just a listener on this show and all you do is use your ears, then please subscribe to our channel on YouTube because that's where you're going to get to see this little Mitch. I came on and he said, "What a sexy Hawaiian shirt that is." And I said, "Mitch, I don't think that it's Hawaiian. I think that it's what is that, paisley? Isn't it
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like
It looks Hawaiian to me. It's got flowers on it, bro.
it looks like a bunch of cornucopias on a shirt, and it's baller. And the only reason I got it is because my wife started using for me to buy clothes, fashion. I told her I wanted to work on my fashion. She said okay. So she get me signed up with the old Stitch Fixed. Stitch Fix.
Oh,
So this was a
nice.
shirt, see, because and here's the thing, I suck at shopping. I
Oh, I
really
do too,
do.
man.
Because I go there with, used to be, now I don't even go out of my way to go try to do it, but there will be things, the most prized pieces of clothing that I've ever owned had. I didn't necessarily like them when I bought them.
Huh.
I'm very weird like that. Like I'll buy something. If there's something I love, like I'll buy it, right? But like that's few and far between. Like
Yeah.
I suck with clothes, man. Or it's
Dude,
just
I
like
suck with clothes too. I keep clothes for years and years and years until they
yeah.
don't fit, obviously.
Yeah. Well, apparently I have to start growing up. So I guess I got to start dressing like an adult and, getting Costco memberships and stuff now. So
Dressing like an adult is overrated. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts every day.
I know. I'm striving for that too. That kind of freedom, Mitch.
All right, man. Well, hey, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much to our listeners. and our sponsors that keep us going. And we will be back next week better than ever.
Yes, back.